Welcome back to Tune Up for What? I'm Spencer.
Jeremiah.
And we're here with the Saeco Brew unit.
Yeah.
And there are times when you're going to want to get into it, mainly to change the screen or the O-ring, or clean out the ball valve and spring. This particular version of the brew unit comes with the ball valve and spring. Any of their new models will look like this. The brew unit will look like this. Some of the older models use a turbine instead.
Has a big gray piece on the top.
But basically, similar process, same reasons why you would be taking it apart. And
Cleaning.
Yeah, and cleaning it. So
yeah, here we go. So right now, 2 screws on top. A lot of Saeco use it's called the Torx 10, T10 bit. And on this one, be careful, because this one is the ball valve and spring. It could have a tendency to shoot the spring out and you lose it. And the ball is actually glass. So if you drop it and it's clean,
hard to see.
You're gonna have a hard time finding it.
It's really, really small.
And it's very small.
One of the smallest parts that I have in my inventory.
Okay. So there's that. There's also an O-ring here on this piece that if it gets destroyed, you can replace. You tip it. There's a spring in the ball. So these always go in like this.
The smaller.
Smaller. So the tapered end of the spring goes towards the ball. Some people will put it in this way. It won't work. It'll be all messed up. And then when you go to this guy, there's 4 tabs on the underside. In the front, in the back, and the front. Easiest way to do it.
Use your screwdriver.
Use your screwdriver.
Okay.
Engage, push, engage, push. So that front side clip down. Keep pressure on it. Go to the back side. Engage that one, engage that one.
Oh, nice.
Come right out.
So do 2 on one end, hold it in while you get the other side.
While you get the other 2 and push it down. So then...
It might take you a few tries if you haven't done it before. Don't worry about it.
Then you can replace your spring, or your screen gasket, and then we can get to the screen.
Okay.
And you'll want to do this if you're using, if you haven't done it in a long time, gasket.
That can usually be cleaned. This will need to be replaced more often, depending on how often you use the machine.
A real good indication when you need to clean this is when this is textured and not smooth. When it's really rough to the finger and not smooth.
Okay.
You'll actually turn it over. This is actually really clean. Barely got any coffee oils.
Okay.
Best thing to do is hold it up to a light, look through it. You should seal through all the holes if you hold it up to the light.
Okay.
Wipe this all down, clean it up. I mean, you can see the oils I got off. Make sure this hole right here is clear.
All right.
That relays to that hole there. Okay. So that's where the ball valve and spring. So the water pushes the glass ball up, which then causes the coffee to come up through this. Okay. So this glass ball will get dark, oily, gummed up with coffee oils. So taking it off and cleaning it. This is a new breed, and that's why it's got all the fancy little yellow
Hasn't been used as much.
colors on it. That's their new style.
What if this starts to fail or get compromised in any way? What are you going to see?
It'll be swollen. It'll be bigger.
And what's it going to do?
It'll actually sometimes eject the coffee, meaning that it's not able to tamp hard enough, because then the O-ring's too big and it meets too much resistance and then says too coarse of a ground, eject. Okay. So the cool thing about Saeco is these are throughout their whole line. It's fun trying to do this up right.
The T10?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have the T10s, but the brew units are similar throughout their whole line.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Depends on which model you have and which way this goes on.
Okay.
So if it goes on this way, that's more like your Xelsis and Exprelia versions, because it'll dispense the coffee out this way. Flip it this way, then that's more like your Odeas and stuff that the coffee comes through and dip out the front spout. So it all kind of depends, and a lot of times people will reassemble this, put the ball back in, put your spring back in. I always make sure once I do that I keep my thumb over it. And then this gets clipped in. So before you do this, orient it to whatever machine you have. you know, you want to make sure you have it oriented to where the coffee comes out. If you,
Otherwise, just an
otherwise
extra
when you
step.
put it in,
Yeah. You just gotta
it
take
sprays
apart
out the door and it leaks all over your counter, and you guys send it in to us and we go, huh, bloop, and it's done.
Okay.
So I don't even remember which way this was facing. So we'll just put it in that way.
Okay.
So you can see it just slaps right back in. And if you get good at it, you can actually do it with just your fingers. And then you can just reorient it.
Okay.
And then so it just
So
slides in.
Take a quick picture, your smartphone, or just remember.
Picture in your brain.
Before you take it off.
And then you can clip it back in. Feed the 2 screws. And when you're doing this, it wouldn't hurt to grease it too. And so then we're just going to go ahead and tighten these back down. So this is fully seated. There you go. That's disassembling your brew unit and servicing the new gasket and cleaning it.
We do have a separate video for where to grease it and lube it up.
Yep.
You should have a link
Up in this area.
somewhere around.
It'll be up over my head, kind of.
And check that out if you're interested. Let us know if there's anything else you'd like to see or have us get into, and we'll see you next week.